In this video, I will just be going over the components needed to build a computer. Also, sorry for the camera quality. I only realized after how crappy my camera was. Okay, so here are all the components. I first want to say I will not be going into depth on how these components work or how to check for compatibility. I intend to do that in a future video called How to Build Your Computer. However, I will be going over these components and looking at their basic functions to give you an idea of what they do and why you need them. Let's start off with the motherboard. The motherboard, or otherwise known as the main board, is a board that all the other components plug into. This includes your CPU, your RAM, your hard drive, graphics card, everything you need. Okay, the next component is the CPU, or central processing unit. Think of this as like the brain of the computer. So whereas I might be rocking the good old Pentium 4, Stephen Hawking was rocking the Ryzen 9 5900X, you know? And to cool this brain, we need a CPU cooler. Now, the one I have here is a stock cooler, which is all you really need to know. I'll go into depth later, as I said, but this basically keeps the CPU cool because the CPU can get really hot. So you need a CPU cooler in order to keep it cool, and without this, everything would break. Now for the RAM, or random access memory. Think of this as like your short-term memory in your head. When your brain wants to quickly recall something, it goes to your short-term memory and fetches that, and then you remember it. So this is what the RAM does. Okay, now that you looked at the RAM, let's look at the hard drive. And what's the difference between this? Well, the hard drive is permanent storage. The RAM is only temporary, or it's called volatile storage. So as soon as the power goes off, the RAM gets cleared. There's no longer anything stored on there. This is why we need a hard drive or SSD, whatever you want, to store data permanently so that we don't lose anything. Now let's talk about the graphics card. Now it outputs video that can be displayed on your monitor. The CPU cannot encode video or display video, so you need a graphics card in order to display whatever the CPU is doing. Now, some CPUs do have a graphics processing unit built in, but we will not be discussing that in this video. There's a lot we're not discussing in this video, so please do look out for my future videos. Next is the PSU, or power supply. It powers everything in your computer. Think of it as like the heart of your computer, actually. Now, your power supply will not look like mine. What I've done to mine is I've cut the connectors off the end of the wires because I was using it for other electronics and stuff like that. But this will give you a basic idea of what it looks like, and just to show you the thing, you know. Last but not least, we have the case. Now, there are so many options that I haven't even bothered showing you one here. It's pretty hard to go wrong with a case. There are a few things to be mindful of, but I will again show that in another video, how to build a PC or choosing the parts for your PC. All you really need to know now is that they use different sizing. So there's ATX, there's eATX, and there's micro ATX. And if your motherboard says ADX of some kind, just make sure that that case is the equivalent size. Well, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, learned something. You know, I try to make it as short as possible, fit as much knowledge in, but I've obviously made a few mistakes, couldn't get everything in, you know, so I will be making videos in the future. Anyway, that's it for now.